Hey, how's it going? Today is 6th of July, Saturday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find. Since there was a change in administration as of now within the UK, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of statements, but people are just warming up to some of those responsibilities, right? So we briefly can touch on the UK, what is happening, what might be important, as well as from UK. It's not EU. It's not one kind of thing. It is where people voted, right? So we're gonna touch on a lot of articles, what's happening in Europe, and if anything, we're gonna be concentrating a lot of our attention at digital opportunities within Europe and where finances are, right? We're gonna be taking a look at a case study. That will be UK's miniature space tech pioneer. I like the idea. As well as in my previous video, I was taking a look at production of energy and some of those sites. Perhaps there's a reason why, but to build energy production and on such a large scale, we need to, and if possible, people already work on some of the projects. I'm very interested in those projects instead of perhaps custom build massive site that would Kingly Sea. I think that's the name of the project. And some of those projects, I know it can take 20 years to build. So there's perhaps there's a reason why and all these kind of things, right? But it's too big and all. When it comes to improvement process, or perhaps there's a better way of solving this exactly the same problem, right? So I do know it, but sometimes I just not bringing attention to some of those projects and everything what's happening. But I do know quite a bit about some of the press releases, right? Once that been said, let's take a look at this case study and what information we can find. There's a video available, but for now, let's take a look at some information that we might be able to find. That would be UK UB one. Okay, okay. Was the K Space Agency pilot program to design and launch a CubeSat, which miniature cube-shaped satellite. I think I was taking a look at some of those companies who actually can take those miniature and or smaller size satellites up to space, and I think the definition would be perhaps even orbit. So I was taking a look at some of those companies, but I haven't taken a look at these pilot programs before. The spacecraft was built for UK Space Agency by there's a company name, I don't know this company now, they have changed the company's name anyway, and its payloads were developed by organizations across UK's industry and academia, selected from more than 20 high quality proposals. Okay, okay. Let's take a look at Bristol and what they're doing over there. Even they are developing, but I think it's just to monitor weather as of now. But capabilities there, I don't know how much funding and how cost effective it is to develop those projects. If they take a look at 20 different potentially projects and how they can bring more satellites into space, or I think the definition is already miniature, right? Either way. Launched in July 2014, UCube 1 was technology demonstration mission aimed at attracting and training future generations of engineers and encouraging collaborations across sectors and institutions, fast tracking space technology development, and all engaging school children with the space and STEAM subjects. I don't know then it's saying what age, what perhaps early age, right? The 3 unit CubeSat, very small, right? It's in that will be in centimeters, so about this big, perhaps even smaller than that, right? Flow 4 main payloads with all the key subsystems of much larger satellites. The Cube 1 was at the time of its launch in 2014 one of the most advanced Cube sats ever built. The mission achieved a range milestone, including take a look at some of those points, well, might be important. If anything, let's see if we can engage with the team and take part and or have access to some of the satellites. So that will be important, and that will be a reason why I will be reading this information. So if I'm doing promotion, quote unquote. In return, can you give me access to the system? Can you give me access to it for promoting your project? We can take a look at briefly, right? But since already we're spending too much time on this, but it might be very, very important. UK Cube was an existing and novel collaboration between UK Space Agency, industry, academia, and funding partners from UQ1, where the UK Space Agency, the Technology Strategy Board, and STFC, Science and War Technology Facilities Council. The spacecraft was developed throughout the knowledge transfer partnership with Glasgow-based Clyde Space and University of Strathclyde, supported with internal funding from Clyde Space. EIDS, also as the name of the company, which perhaps was purchased by another company, provides engineering and program management support to the Agency for the Pilot Program. UK industry and academia are providing payloads and ground support operations, with the launch procured by UK Space Agency. Overall, so who's responsible for the entire project? Since they're saying that's a company, well, let's try to chat this company and how can get access to this system, right? Just a quick note, right, when I'm bringing more attention to, as of now, some of the work that's been done. So I will just open email from Digital Future and or Digital Environment within Europe. And once I open this platform, I can see projects that as of now they're supporting. So that would be 4 different US companies. And this is where space where they're working with digital, and there isn't a single one European project, not a single one. So as of now, they're making a lot of noise that they're doing something and wasting everyone's time and money and energy. And myself, as of now, I don't know how many times I can bring more attention to the point that these people are wasting everyone's time. I cannot bring more attention to it. We keep sending these letters that they're doing something and these conversations are taking place, all these kind of things. There is a money allocated in some of these projects. You can do whatever you want. But what I'm saying is, time will show. But as of now, I can see 4 companies and I cannot see a single project. I cannot see a single project being launched in Europe. So as of now, they're saying hundreds of millions been wasted, or in their words, supported to launch some of the projects. Once that been said, let's progress to Europe. That will be EU-Japan deal on data flows enters into force. The landmark deal on cross-border data flows between the EU and Japan entered into force. It's a milestone in joint efforts to advance digitalization of both European and Japanese science and economies. It provides, or it will provide, full facilitated business for both sides, sending strong signal against digital protectionism. I don't know. This is how we would like to package it. Since they say the data will be flown freely, perhaps it should. But if there's some value to what information being shared, so if anything, it's good that the people working on it, and something that was signed beginning of this month, 5 days ago. So I'll touch on it, and we can progress to other articles. Let's take a look at the next press release. After the second report on the state of digital decade calls for straight-headed and collective action to propel EU digital transformation. The Commission published second report on the state of digital decade, providing comprehensive overview of the progress made in the quest to achieve the digital objectives and targets set for 2030 by the Digital Decade Policy Program. Okay. I don't know. I don't think Europe is up there. I think these people are wasting everyone's time. I don't think as of now. I think regulations are too strict, as well as EU don't have any project that I know of. So perhaps they think that they have. I don't think they have. Perhaps someone can correct me and let me know what kind of project when it comes to digital progress, what state of the art project Europe has. Other than that, let's progress. Perhaps taxpayers are paying for these people and these groups of individuals to sit there and write down these kind of reports. When it comes to the results, I cannot see anything what as of now been done by European, I don't know, it's a group of people sitting in the office, and as of now they're underperforming. So once that been said, let's progress to the next article. That would be commission to invest over 210 million in cybersecurity, digital capacities and technology under the Digital Europe program. Since to put things into perspective, right? So they cannot because of stricter. This is government, right? So they implementing and or taking a look at what kind of regulations Europe would need to have because of just one of the factors that regulations that is in government control, and they controlling this market to such a point where they cannot release any projects, right? Since they cannot release it, that means this project is not making money. If it's not making money now, instead of the perhaps tax revenue from this project being reallocated into space by developing the space a little bit better, taxpayers need to pay for it. So instead of this project paying taxes and that money being reinvested, now taxpayers need to pay 210 million in cybersecurity, where some of those companies would drop 5 billion just because of how much money those companies are making. They would be able to drop 5 billion or so. Now we take a look at Europe, who underperforming, taking taxpayers' money, and this is where things are as of now. The Commission opened calls worth over 210 million under the Digital Europe program for proposals to strengthen cybersecurity and digital capacity across Europe. So that might be important because of how it's something that I have touched previously, as well as I was taking a look at critical infrastructure projects, how many attacks some of those projects can undergo on a monthly basis, can be in thousands, right? Just some of the press releases that I have read, right, or documentaries that I have watched, that would be some of those projects or companies would have thousands of issues. So with that being said, let's progress to the next article. Next article, that will be you invest 325 million to support Europe's semiconductors innovation ecosystem. As I mentioned previously, some of those governments investing hundreds of billions. This is a market, right, where EU is looking to invest 325 million, which is okay, I guess, compared to not investing at all, right? The CHIPS joint undertaking, okay, announced opening of calls to support semiconductor research and innovation initiatives in photonics, competence centers, and cloud-based semiconductor design platforms as part of CHIP for Europe initiative under the CHIPS Act. And there are some tenders if it's something yourself you're interested in. As they have mentioned, your application needs to be very strong, right? So perhaps they're looking to support already existing projects. So your application will, quote unquote, will be very strong instead of supporting new up and coming projects. Let's progress to, we won't have enough time, right? So there's another two articles that we can take a look at. Let's take a look at the next article. After the Commission sends primary findings to Meta over its pay or consent model for breach of Digital Market Act. So as of now, they're trying to regulate this market, right? As well as it's not necessarily just this particular company. There was some issues with other companies who would have subscription model that people won't be able to cancel subscription, and government have sued some of those companies, right? But most of the people perhaps know what I'm referring to, right? And perhaps some trickery keep going on in Europe as well when it comes to accepting terms and conditions and or paying for services. Well, overnight those companies can then, and what Europe gonna do then? I'm interested. What Europe gonna do then? When this is the companies that we are taking a look at. They need to build their own projects, and they I don't know what these people are doing and why these people being elected to operate to this kind of way. where they're trying to monitor this company, outside companies, and they cannot build their own projects. And the last article that we're going to be taking a look at, let's finish strong. We can take a look at something that was published recently, 2 days ago, that the Digital Euro program invests over 108 million in European digital skills, capacity, and tech. So that should be where the things are, right? And if they're looking to support any projects potentially, and how they would determine those, and the time would be the judge how well these people are performing, right? If Europe would be able to launch any of those projects, or as of now, and perhaps in the future waste everyone's time. That would be a new set of calls have been launched from 2023 and 2024 Digital Europe Work Program, boosting work and skills, digital decade, multi-country projects, local digital twins, and tackling disinformation. This particular part, tackling disinformation, perhaps that would be within France and or hate speech, all these kind of things that might be happening when it comes to Olympic Games, as well as if this current administration of European Horizon project, right? I think people would change places for the next 3 years, right? So perhaps if now it's a lot of handshaking going on. Perhaps new people would come in and new initiatives gonna be launched within the next 3 years. So as of now, we can just take a look, and from there we can progress if these people within 7 years, that they were having so many opportunities to launch in the projects, European digital platforms, all these kind of things. If they didn't manage to do that, they did, based on their own criteria, they didn't manage to find any projects, they didn't manage to build anyone or any companies up. So perhaps in the last 7 years, people just waste everyone's time and money. As that being said, I don't know if it's very positive, but there's a lot of opportunities. I can finish on some of those opportunities, as well as some of the background information for people who are interested in building and or sending out some of these projects. Whereas there are a lot of opportunities when it comes to deployment actions of different areas, for example, cybersecurity, as well as cloud data and artificial intelligence. So that would be very important when it comes to partnership with Japan, as well as call for proposals accelerating best use of technology and similar calls, right? Let's close on that. Even if people are looking to begin somewhere, perhaps that would be digital skills, right? And how some of these people can introduce some of these projects to the market, right? And start somewhere from digital skills, perhaps progressing to larger projects. In particular, some of those issues a lot of governments are facing, cost and or people within the governments, cost of education, right? But thanks for watching. See you next one.